you have an obligation to know who the artist is.
Kaya nilang lumaban.
Kasi we're living in an exploitative system.
There's no room to be that tone deaf.
Hi guys! Welcome sa isa na namang episode ng All is Well, the podcast. Ako si Dodge.
Ian.
Jomar.
Okay, and yung kasama natin is si Kristienne Amante. Woo!
Full name.
Good talaga. Hi.
So, konting intro. They are the junior art director for Colorette and Fresh Formula, veteran weave and whale. Oh, di ba? Ayos yung credentials natin ngayon.
Gacha is life.
Okay, so konting background lang. Kilala namin si Kristienne kasi nung magkakaklase tayo, I think first year high school. Tama ba?
Yes.
Tapos noong unang panahon, magla-lunch kami, ganyan. Tapos dadaan si Kristienne sa amin, tapos tatawagin niya si Toby! Si Toby! Si Ian nung unang panahon. Kasi obvious. So, Toby! Ayan, ganyan. So, Kristienne, meron ka bang gustong i-add para makilala ka ng ating mga viewers or listeners?
Nakilala ko kayo nung high school kasi nga puro weeb kayo eh. So parang kung sino yung mahihilig sa anime, kumbaga, yun yung hello, friends. So, dun ko kayo nakilala. Si Naruto, si kapatid ng Prince of Tennis Stan, tsaka si Toby.
Si Toby. So, qualification na pala sa pagiging weeb yung pagiging Toby.
Toby.
Yeah. Fun fact, yung aso namin, name niya Toby. So, thanks Kristienne for the nickname. Oh.
Ayun, so speaking of weave, yung pinapanood ko ngayon yung Attack on Titan. Weekly ko siyang pinapanood eh. Pinapanood niyo ba yun?
Yes.
Hindi ko na-follow, pero I've been hearing stuff about it.
Attack on Titan Master Race tayo. And speaking of Attack on Titan, or Shingeki no Kyojin sa mga purists dyan, we are recording this on a Saturday. And tomorrow, hindi pala tomorrow, madaling araw ng Monday would be the last episode of the final season, part 1. Kahit wala siyang part 1, it's the final season of it's the final episode of the part 1 of the final season. Kasi
ay, totoo.
obviously
Part 1 lang yun.
Yeah, kasi obviously hindi matatapos yung story ng next episode. And on April 9 would be the last chapter of the series. The story will conclude. Sana maganda yung ending. And medyo related sa Attack on Titan yung topic namin today. Dahil sa kanyang artist. So may chismis ako guys about sa artist. Meron kasing speculations na si Hajime Isayama ay isang Japanese imperialist apologist. Nasabi kong speculations kasi before this, syempre nag-research naman ako if ano yung mga parang evidences, and it was very hard to find hard proof kasi parang based on speculations online, ang napapresent lang nila na parang evidence na may pagka right-leaning and imperialist apologist nga tong si Isayama is may isa kasing character sa Attack on Titan which is hindi naman to spoiler sa mga nanonood pa. Si Commander Pixis was inspired by a Japanese imperialist. By a Japanese general back in the World War II era. And there was this, yung isa ko pa lang nakita din na kaya siya na-accuse was, I don't know if verified yung information na to kasi nung tinignan ko yung pinaka-source niya, Korean yung raw article, tapos siya lang yung sinite ng isang post sa Tumblr which says na Isayama basically said na the lives of the Koreans were improved because they were sinakop sila ng mga Japanese. So, ayun. Which is basically made me think, sige, assume natin na totoo for thought experiment na moral obligation ko ba na kailangan ko ng huminto manood ng Attack on Titan if medyo tagilid nga tong author na to. Ano ba sa tingin niyo, guys?
So yung question mo ba is, will the beliefs and the personal experiences, background of the artist affect yung actual art na kino-consume natin or our appreciation of the art?
Yep. Kasi it's the question of, kasi Attack on Titan is a literary work eh. Though though hindi siya completely exclusive for those authors. Sa tingin niyo ba pwede niyong ihiwalay yung artist sa kanyang work? Kasi sa akin naman personally, hindi, if wala akong background kay Isayama, I don't get the message of the work naman being pro-imperialist eh.
Ano kasi, para sa akin, parang pwede naman, you can separate the artist from the art mismo. Kasi, ewan ko, some people are not very aware about the things. Parang nasa tao na yun, like once they find out, it's up to them na kung gusto pa nila i-support or ayaw na nila. Kasi, ayun nga, nasa moral beliefs na nila yun. It's, kumbaga, the ball is in their court na.
Yeah, I think I agree with that na it really depends on kung ano yung values mo as a person. If you think na permissible to still consume the art, then nothing's stopping you to consume it other than, being ostracized by people for your for supporting something na siguro widely is unacceptable. Pero I think art you shouldn't be really barred from consuming art kasi it's there as sort of an expression of human feelings. You shouldn't really stop consuming it kasi the person who made it is problematic. Art in itself is beautiful. Parang you can appreciate yung kunyari painting, you can appreciate the lines, the colors, anong itsura niya, yung composition, and then still get some meaning out of it kahit na yung person who made it kunyari sa murderer, ganon. Parang it's two different things, diba? Parang you can appreciate the art, but the ethics and morality behind it is totally different. It's a separate thing. Ang maapektuhan lang ng parang ethics and morality of the person who made the art is whether or not you like to consume it.
Kasi subjective siya yung art, di ba? So depende siya sa interpretation mo kung maganda ba siya for you or hindi, or kung nakaka-receive ka ba ng tagilid na message from that art or not. Tapos parang isa pang point dun is magiging interested ka ba enough dun sa art to research about the artist. Parang ganun. Kasi pag ako kung music lang, pero pag sobrang naengganyo ko, so sino kaya tong gumawa ng art na to or ng music or nagsulat, saka ko pa lang sila i-research. Pero parang other than that, pwedeng ipasok yung author is dead na i-consider kong patay siya. Kasi ayun, wala naman siya to interpret it for me.
Parang yung Harry Potter lang.
Yeah. Honestly, parang sobrang may reservations ako in like giving out my support for the series. Na parang ayokong sabihin maybe sa Instagram or sa social media na I've watched this ganon or I'm making references to Harry Potter kasi nga because of yung problem sa author. So medyo nahihirapan ako doon. Pero if you really think na art can be separated from the artist, it shouldn't be that difficult. Diba?
Kasi ngayon, the way I see it sa Harry Potter naman, parang it was so ingrained in our culture na, as in, it's part of our childhood. Parang nabuhay ka ba in the early 2000s without Harry Potter? Parang, okay, it's very hard to part with it. Tapos ngayon tumanda ka na and then you find out that the author is like that. So parang parang it's really hard to separate it kasi it's part of my life. It's big part of my childhood. Pero, ayun, the subtle ways of like separating the art from the artist, from the literary work from the writer. Parang wala. I just take the plot, take the story, and run away with it. Just do whatever I want with it. Support the fanfic, support everything else, but the main series. Parang ganon. I mean, I can enjoy it on my own, but am I gonna help promote it? No.
Yeah. Parang it's a different matter if
Yes.
if parang you're going to broadcast na, oh, okay, support the series. Pero if you're just going to enjoy it personally, then hindi siya directly benefiting the author and hindi siya directly benefiting
I-torrent
yung
na lang daw.
beliefs. Oh, yeah. Ikaw ba, Jomar? May parang may ano ka ba doon? May stance ka on whether we should separate or not?
Mahirap yung question na we should. So, siguro introduce ko muna disclaimer ko muna na I'm on the side, leaning to the side of yes. And based sa discussion natin, feeling ko may advantage kasi yung mga authors and other artists that are producing something separate from themselves, if that makes sense. Kasi in that way, it seems like they're producing something that has a life of its own, which makes it easier for us consumers to separate the work of art from the artist. From our examples, let's say Attack on Titan and Harry Potter. Madaling sabihin kasi na I just like their work, not the author. Kasi may tayo may tangible product tayo na pwedeng tingnan na separate entirely from the artist. Siguro this also goes for the same as I'm thinking of examples like siguro movie directors or writers, music composers, painters. Kasi by that example, madaling, let's say Mona Lisa, hindi naman problematic si Da Vinci, pero assume natin na problematic si Da Vinci. Pwede mo sabihin na, ang ganda kasi nung painting niya Mona Lisa madali siyang i-separate. So, I think artists who produce something tangible, entirely different from themselves, may sila, mas privileged sila from other artists na iba yung genre of art.
Ano ba yung mga genre na yun na yung opposite, yung mas less privileged? Ano bang klaseng art? Example, sorry.
Fan art.
I'd say, yun ba yung term? Performative arts? Let's say singer, dancer, athlete, yun. Yun yung mahirap i-separate kasi the art is basically themselves. They are their body or not really their body, pero sobrang integral part ng self dun sa nilalabas nilang art. Feeling ko yun naman yung mga sobrang hirap i-separate nung work sa artist. And honestly, I'm on those type of artists. Hindi ko pa alam yung stand ko. It's basically very hard for me sometimes, especially at least on my part, athletes.
I have an example dyan of a visual artist din. Recently kasi merong may naging issue as in sumikat siya on everywhere. It went viral a little bit. Yung kay Solen na performance art. Kasi people, we're not gonna lie, we're not gonna sugarcoat it. People support Solen as an artist because she's Solen. She's a model. She's an influencer. So people support her art not just because she's good at it, but because she's Solen. So parang when she put out that performance art, that yung parang may rug, may painting, may backdrop, tapos yung setting niya is somewhere parang slum area. Parang 'di ba, it's hard to separate that kasi nasa branding niya yun eh. It's ingrained in her branding. Her art is ingrained in her branding. Tapos biglang #canceled. Kasi parang tone deaf, sobrang tone deaf. It's very hard to separate it. And ako, personally, I jumped to the bandwagon na, oh, no, I'm not gonna support this artist. It's terrible, sobrang tone deaf, especially now, may pandemic. In this setting, I feel like there's no room to be that tone deaf.
Mhm.
Especially in the arts, especially if you're as privileged as you are. Parang, yun lang yung naging ko kay Solen. So, parang...
So do you think na yung fact na she's very privileged and given the climate ngayon, do you think that takes away from her art at all?
It does. Kumbaga, sa akin, if I find out, like all forms of art is good to me. Parang, if I see a drawing done by a toddler or someone who isn't really good at it, if I see it, it's pretty good. Tapos, if I find out that the person is terrible, parang immediately that art, no matter how good it is, parang no. Parang that's just me personally, because my morals are like, I don't like you as a person, I don't support what you believe in, so I don't like what you make. That's it. But that's me.
Very interesting yung sinabi ni Kristienne. Kasi hindi ko alam if I agree or disagree. Parang medyo on the balance ako dun sa example niya. Kasi on the top of my mind, ang naisip ko agad na example is Manny Pacquiao. At the time na nung pure boxer pa lang si Pacquiao, medyo he was problematic na ng konti that time. Basically because he was a homophobe eh. Pero hindi ko masabi yung support, pero at that time I can still recognize na he was great as a boxer. And at that time medyo natitiis ko pa na sikmurain, manood. Kasi galing niya talaga, I mean as a boxer, galing niya talaga eh. Pero when he ran for public office, doon na nawala yung katiting na string na hinahawakan ko na boxer. Sige, Manny Pacquiao, the boxer. Okay siya. But when he ran for public office, doon na nawala. Kasi when he became a senator, or hindi lang pala senator eh, basta nung nasa public office na siya, mahirap na siya for me to even show support just by watching. Kasi when your personal views is literally affecting what you legislate, siguro doon lang na-draw yung border ng morals ng border na that's not it. So siguro coupled with with nasa public office ka na nga, lagi ka pang absent, tapos nahahati pa yung attention mo sa dami mo pang ginagawa. Yung katiting ko na lang na pinanghahawakan sana before na you are great as a boxer, hindi ko na kayang i-compartmentalize ngayon dahil nasa public office ka na. Parang ganun. Brought out ko siya. Kasi parang sa akin, siguro may parang stages pa of nasisikmura ako to not really show support but to appreciate someone.
Yeah.
Kasi based dun sa naging example kasi ni Kristienne, parang parang okay, parang pangit na. Siguro there are people like her na ganun talaga na inasnap, pumapangit na talaga yung art, and siguro there are people like Billy naman na siguro may spectrum na okay, tapos biglang may may line na madodraw na okay, hindi ko na kayang sikmurain yung art mo. So
kasi feel ko dyan, it's in the medium din. Kasi boxing, you don't send a message there. As in, ang mo lang is you're a good athlete. Wala kang message na pinapadala doon. It doesn't have any implications. As in, if you're good at it, you're good at it. Pero pag uwi mo, that's what you are. You're a boxer. Tapos na yun. In visual arts kasi, your artwork has meaning. Pag katulad ng sa Shingeki no Kyojin, pag katulad ng sa Harry Potter, pag katulad ng example ko with Solen, it's like may meaning siya, may cultural meaning siya, may societal meaning siya. unlike athletes na the meaning stops with the game. It stays there. And people can't interpret it any way they can. People can't get the wrong message from it kasi sobrang direct nung medium. Kasi it's a sport. It's just meant to be viewed as a sport. Pero pag halimbawa, yun nga, literary work or a painting, people can interject meanings from it and it will have social impact na. So parang, I don't know, that's where I draw the line. Kasi mamaya, children will grow up thinking na tama yung imperialist mindset and parang may mga implications na siya. It can domino butterfly effect na after that. So, yeah, parang nasa medium din.
So sobrang interesting nung 2 point of views. Before this podcast, I did a bit of reading, konti lang, on how do we criticize art. And according to that article, merong 2 extreme positions. So one is parang moralistic criticism and one is autonomous criticism. So moralistic meaning the ethics behind the art takes away from the aesthetics of the art. And autonomous naman means the aesthetics should be viewed as a totally different thing from morals. So I think pag radical autonomist ka, there's no such thing as ethical art. Kumbaga. So from what I'm hearing sa points niyo ni Kristienne at ni Jomar is may spectrum siya, right? So radical both sides. Pero in the middle, meron kang point of meron kang certain point where you say na okay, when you reach this threshold na kasahulan sa na ginawa ng author, it takes away from the aesthetics. So I think I agree with that na at one point kapag sobrang sahol na talaga nung ginawa, it takes away from your uptake of the art, kung paano mo siya i-consume, your appreciation of the art. Ang kay Kristienne naman na side na narinig ko is more on sa moralistic side ka, tama ba? Like siguro hindi ka radical, so more on like na moderate moralistic view na kapag may ginawang masama yung tao or in the art itself pag may dinepict na masama, that takes away from your appreciation of the art.
Yeah,
so I guess may merit naman both sides. Wala naman I think na right answer. Kasi it's all like morals itself, it's very subjective. Parang it depends on you.
It's like I won't stop other people from enjoying what they want to enjoy, pero personally no.
Yeah, I think that's a good attitude towards it. Pero yung sa side ko naman more of depende nga sa tao. Kunwari, it's okay kung sa una di mo alam, pero pag nalaman mo, like yung sinabi ni Kristienne noong una, saka ka magde-decide. And I think sinabi din ba ni Jomar kanina na nasa amount ng kaya mong sikmurahin na ginawa niyang hindi medyo tagilid nga. Diba? Kasi kaya mahirap siyang sagutin ng yes or no yung topic na or yung question na can you separate art? Kasi iba-iba rin yung nasisikmura ng tao depende nga sa morals or depende sa katanggap-tanggap para sa'yo. Ayun. Pero going back dun sa yung yung sa sinabi ni Kristienne about yung sa sports, medyo disagree ako na it stops with the game kasi may societal impact. I can give an example sa within sports sa chess. Before kasi puro lalaki lang yung naglalaro diba? Pero there was one time na nag-start na maglaro yung mga girls And it's actually starting a revolution na to encourage more girls to play. Kasi ngayon kasi mayroon pang distinction ng women's and men's na title ng chess eh. Pero they're pushing to be united kasi it doesn't have the physical limitations naman ng ibang sports eh. Like ano ba? Siguro wrestling, basketball or what. I'm not sure sa accuracy, no. Pero at least sa chess, we can say naman na dahil intellectual siya, you don't have that muscle boundary thing. Tapos it sent out a big message, I think, nung tinalo number 1 ng women's, na si Judith Polgar, si Garry Kasparov na number 1 din ng men's before. I'm not sure sa time pala. Basta, kilala si Garry Kasparov na magaling talaga. So, it sends out a good message sa mga kababaihan na kaya nilang lumaban and, fight for equality. So, ano lang, shinare ko lang yun. Kasi medyo passionate ako sa sports and I think it's an art na hindi lang, confined sa game itself.
Gets. Recently din, basta may nakikita rin akong issue basta something about letting trans men join men's sports and trans women join women's sports. Parang ganun din. Parang, okay, gets ko nga. It doesn't really stop with the game. So yeah, thank you for that.
So, I think yung buong issue na to is an issue because we know the context of yung art. Parang hindi siya magiging debate kung ignorant lang tayo. Pero do you think it's a moral obligation for us to know kung ano yung background ng artist when we're consuming the art?
Good question. Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Kasi magiging hypocrite ako. Kasi hindi naman ako madalas mag-research ng artist.
Ako personally, I don't think
True.
na moral obligation mo mag-research beforehand. Kasi think about it this way, parang sobrang daming things to consume in this world na parang kung i-research mo pa, parang sakit sa ulo, I just want to consume things.
True.
So parang, okay, I consume something, go na. Pero what I do with the information, once I receive it, that's where it changes. So parang, I consumed, balik tayo sa Attack on Titan. If I consumed Attack on Titan, tapos hindi ko pala alam, parang I enjoyed it, okay, good. Pero pag nalaman ko na imperialist nga yung author, parang ano yung gagawin ko pagkatapos? It's on me. That's where my moral decision comes. Doon na mangyayari yung moral thing na do I still support it? Do I not support it? Do I pirate it? Do I still, do I support the small businesses who make fan merch of it? Or do I buy official goods? Parang ganun na rin. So, yeah, that's where you go with it. For me.
I 100% agree dun sa sinabi ni Kristienne. Parang from a practical point of view and thinking about it, you probably won't consume anything or wala ka na mako-consume if you stop consuming everything na you see the producer problematic. Kasi I think this also goes beyond the confines of art na let's say damit, pagkain, shirts, ganyan. Feeling ko kasi we're living in an exploitative system in itself. So, yung mga nasa top power, talagang mga problematic yan. And once na parang medyo wala tayong magagawa ka na feeling ko mamamatay ka if you stop consuming something dahil problematic yung may gawa. Though bringing it back to the topic for art, biologically hindi ka naman mamamatay if hindi mo consume. For me lang personally, it's my moral compass siguro na to assume someone is good or someone is a decent person at default. I want to believe in the decency of people. So, kaya feeling ko hindi naman moral obligation na kailangan mo hanapin muna bago mo i-consume. Kasi siguro for me, it's almost the same as respect, na I don't believe in the saying na respect is earned. I believe in the saying na respect is always there. It should always be there as basic human right. But respect is lost once na you do something bad. Siguro that goes the same for me sa artist, na I'll assume na you're more or less a decent person. So I don't need to scrutinize everything that you're doing or what you've done. But the moment, yun nga, kasalanan mo na lang yun kapag lumabas sa baho mo. And yun nga, nasa individual na rin siguro kung anong gusto mong gawin with that information.
Yeah. Agree. Sobrang agree din sa points niyo both. Pero yung sa akin lang kasi is, I think yung main argument against it is, when we consume the art, we're inadvertently supporting the artist, like giving them livelihood, income, ganun. Pero my argument against that is your own personal consumption of it isn't really a big of an impact. Parang, sino ka ba compared to thousands of people na kung collectively sinusupport yung person na yun, di ba? Parang, okay, that's how you topple topple the reputation of the person. Pero kung ikaw lang naman na okay, you appreciate it sa first instance without knowing who the artist is, parang that doesn't impact that artist. So kung kunyari kinonsume mo siya, that gives them like, I don't know, 1 peso, ganun. Parang if you consider the impact, hindi ganun kalaki. Pero I think I draw the line kung kunyari sinusupport mo yung artist na yun, like all of that artist's work, parang you single-handedly pick that artist as, okay, I like this artist, I'll patronize his or her works. So I think I have the obligation to know if the artist is any good or is a good person or not, or if medyo problematic siya kasi you're giving them more mileage, more resources, ganun. I don't know, more exposure. Hindi lang one small impact yun if you think about it. And then you go on broadcasting that person's work, ganun. So I think kapag pinapatronize mo talaga yung isang artist, you, at least for me, you have an obligation to know who the artist is. Pero if, for example, you saw this art sa street, okay, go ahead, appreciate it. Wala namang impact yan masyado to the artist eh. I think at least for you appreciate the art. You get some sort of meaning from the art. Mas malaki yung impact sa'yo kaysa sa impact sa kanya.
Yung sa akin naman, kasi nag-agree ako na hindi siya practical na i-research mo lahat. Kasi siguro, yun nga, gaya na sinabi ni Jomar kanina na hindi ka siguro mabubuhay. Kasi wala namang perfect. I mean, merong hindi aligned sa moral compass mo. So, it's better na lang na, hindi naman better. Pero, sorry na nga lang siya kung lumabas yung baho niya. And nangyayari siya madalas sa mga public figures, sa mga sikat na tao. So, yun yung sadly for them. Pero kasi kung art kailangan parang nagba-bank on ka na sa pagiging sikat. Is that the right way to say it? Na kung hindi naman kasi i-support yung art mo, kung hindi ka sikat, konti lang or hindi ganun karami yung magsusupport sa'yo. So, sadly, yung mga gumagawa ng art is sila yung na-expose talaga. I mean, kung problematic sila or not.
That's an interesting angle din. Kasi with today's culture na sobrang madalas ma-dox ng smaller artists. Kumbaga, siguro sa Twitter, parang you have 1,000 followers or less. Tapos pag may nahalungkat silang something bad you did, parang yung cancel culture na rin kasi. So parang you make one small mistake and then you get doxed by the internet. Parang your entire livelihood will be canceled. Parang ganun. And a lot of people fall into a bit of despair dahil I made one small mistake and now people hate me. I can't make art anymore because nobody appreciates it anymore. Nobody wants my work anymore. Parang ganun. Pero ayun nga, it's another gray area kasi it's up to the people to decide na is this going to make a huge impact on, life in general, or is it going to ruin another person's life? Is it going to help the cause, whatever cause they're supporting? Kasi if I think about it this way, I'm going back to Solen because I really hate her work. Sorry. As in, I heard na her artisan rugs are like 60,000 pesos. So parang, if you support that, you support basically someone who is already a millionaire. Tapos you also promote such a terrible message. So, yun yung parang there's this other side, and then on another side, parang just imagine a small fan artist na selling prints online lang, doing commissions, tapos they say the N word or the R word. Kasi people can change. People can learn from their mistakes. So parang yun yung ayaw ko sa cancel culture. Kasi yun nga, if you were going to separate the art and the artist, we should also take into account cancel culture. Kasi some people get canceled immediately without giving them a chance to change or reform their misdeeds, their actions. So, yeah, medyo mahirap siyang i-gauge.
If you want to know more about cancel culture, please go to episode 3 of our podcast up on Spotify, YouTube, and all major podcast platforms. Thanks.
Yeah. Ma-plug ko rin sana eh.
Okay.
Pero, dun sa point ni Kristienne and na-bring out into ni Dutch, I guess it's also a good question to ask na, what does support siguro mean din? Or, feeling ko kasi when it comes to support, para rin siyang spectrum. Feeling natin sa spectrum dito, no? Na on one hand, you can support by buying legit merch na parang may royalties talaga yung artist, like official merch. Siguro at on that extreme, you buy official merch, you advertise that artist to your friends, to the public, and siguro
your
on
followers,
the
gano'n.
siguro on the other side of the spectrum naman is kinakancel mo naman, na you're actively campaigning against that person, na na bring out ko yung subject kasi I have a friend na artist din siya, and ang alam ko medyo on the side regarding Attack on Titan. I think she believes na Isayama is an imperialist. Though for her kasi, she also likes the work. But yung morals niya, leaning siya dun sa spectrum natin kanina na yung moral over aesthetic. So parang sa kanya, parang may dissonance or parang may moral dilemma na ayaw niya yung artist pero she really knows and appreciates the work. So parang ang naging compromise niya was she will consume the art pero it's by way of piracy, or kasi aminin naman natin madali naman talagang maghanap ng online access na free sa mga manga na binabasa natin. So yun yung nagiging compromise niya, and I think most of the general public naman, siguro when it comes to this topic, meron din siguro silang sort of compromise when it comes to supporting a certain artist na siguro may mga tao na once they see na problematic tong si artist na ganito, they stop further supporting or consuming further works. Pero siguro yung works niya prior malaman na ganun siya, kaya pa nila siguro yung sikmurain kasi parang yun nabanggit ni Kristienne kanina na siguro it has been a large part of their life, yung ganun. Siguro may mga tao rin naman na they draw the line sa pagbili kasi siguro they see that they can appreciate and recognize the beauty of our work pero they won't buy kasi they know na yung pera magagamit nung artist mismo, and siguro ang thinking dun is by having that money mas palagana pa ng kasamaan yung
Mm.
artist. So, yun yung feeling kong yung saan ka na siguro may spectrum when it comes to support kasi there are many ways of showing support or not showing support.
In a way, parang naiisip ko rin dyan is if you continue liking the thing, you can support other people while you continue liking said thing. So halimbawa, Attack on Titan, there are so many fan artists na gumagawa ng merch like keychains and other stuff. Like if you want merch, approach a small artist tapos help them out. Parang gano'n na lang. Instead of buying official merch na makakakuha yung author makakakuha ng pera yung author, makakakuha ng support ng royalties yung author. So parang, yeah, I'll just support a smaller artist. I'll keep liking what I like. Pero that's what it's run away with their work. That's the biggest act of rebellion. I don't know. It's how you can go against them. Parang ganun. Support other people by going against by removing your support from the bigger person. I don't know. That's how I do it.
Yes.
Siguro a bigger parang concern or issue is yung sinabi ni drummer na piracy. Like how if isa lang yung channel of support. Kunyari yung isang legal channel lang of support. Kunyari yung sa Attack on Titan. You can't consume Attack on Titan in any other way unless piracy nga through streaming sites. So how else could you appreciate the art without supporting the artist in a legal way? Like if you're going to support kunyari yung creator ng Attack on Titan, or sorry, if you're going to support the creator of the Attack on Titan, will that be more unethical than piracy? Parang you have to weigh it kasi if you're going to boycott a person because that person is problematic, but your method of boycotting is also illegal, it defeats the purpose kasi you're also doing something na hindi ethical.
Very interesting question. Though piracy is another whole topic. Ang siguro ang magandang point lang ni Iris, naalala ko tuloy si Luluch na what would you do if there is an evil that can't be defeated by a just mean? And
utusan na lang nila Luluch.
Parang you're forced to and parang the only way to defeat that evil is by a greater evil. What would you do? Would you succumb to the existing evil by doing the just thing, or would you stain your hands and do the greater evil to defeat the parang current evil? In either way, evil remains.
Evil pa rin.
I don't know, to be honest. Pero parang hindi ko naman ikasasama as a person, I guess, if you're consuming the legal way and tas ang consequence niya is kumikita yung artist. Feeling ko, I mean, medyo in the practical sense of it. I don't know. Siguro si Christian mas knowledgeable siya sa parang how artists or how these creators earn money. Pero kasi I don't think naman na, let's say, anime, kasi legal way dyan is either you buy the DVDs or you buy or Crunchyroll or legal
Netflix
sites. Yeah, or Netflix.
Sponsor niyo kami.
If ayaw mong gumawa ng illegal and you ought to go to those streaming sites, feeling ko naman hindi naman ganong kalaki. Parang hindi naman 100% yung royalty nung
exactly
artist dun eh.
Parang drop in the bucket lang eh.
Yun na lang siguro yung isipin mo na moral compromise sa sarili mo na hindi naman sa lahat napupunta sa sa artist. So, ayun. Pero to be honest, it's a good question. Feeling ko there's no black and white answer to that yet.
Meron akong naisip na compromise. I think dito magagamit yung cancel culture. Or yung pag-cancel at least. Kasi maybe if we can parang iparating na ayaw namin to, mali itong ginagawa mo. dun sa artist na yun. Kasi we have to acknowledge na maganda yung art niya. No? But maybe the message yung tagilid. So if we can influence the author to change, edi okay, we can buy their art, or we can consume their art legally. Pero in the future kailangan niya magbago. Gets ko kasi
Yeah. Para
parang
educating
currently,
the author, ganun.
so at least kung
Or the artist.
kung magbago siya, we can support their art legally. And ayun, kikita yung art niya.
If we're going to consider kasi Japanese media, parang medyo mahirap i-bring up yung concerns natin because contacting them is a little bit harder than, let's say, pag Western cartoon or something. Mas mahirap siyang i-communicate, mas mahirap mag-reach out to the authors themselves. Kasi there's a language barrier, there's parang so many loops to go through para ma-reach. Also, there's cultural differences talaga. Like, some things that are okay in Japan are not okay in the rest of the world.
Yeah, true.
I'm remembering Hetalia na sobrang
Italia.
parang if you consumed it as a kid, it was satirical, it was cute, it was funny, and then you grow up, you realize that this is racist. As far as I know, some people talaga na they reached out to the author, but the results are so ewan ko. It's really hard to go through that. Like, who's gonna do it? Parang ganun. It's all you.
Parang napapansin ko yung mga tanong natin, hindi rin natin masagot. Tapos iniisip ko na lang, ang laki kasi nung na-post na thought experiment nung question na can art be separated from the artist, no? Pero ngayon ko lang naisip tanongin na bakit pa natin tinatanong yung tanong na ito. Sa tingin niyo?
Sa akin I think feeling ko marami rin naman tao na ganito. Pero sa akin personally lang, it's I like to know myself more, to know what my morals are and saan yung where I draw the line about certain things. And siguro when it comes to morals, specifically, ayoko lang maging hypocrite. I believe naman everyone is a hypocrite to a certain level. Ayoko lang maging highest tier of hypocrite. Siguro at very
maging
least, nandun ako sa lowest tier of hypocrite. Parang siguro main question to answer lagi sa akin in this topic is, will I share the same beliefs of the artist if problematic siya, if I consume his or her art? And yun yung I want to believe, and yun yung stand ko na no, na there are certain things na I can consume, and siguro nasa sa akin na lang personally kung paano ko siya i-justify sa akin and to other people kapag tinanong nila na why are you still consuming or appreciating or reading, listening, whatever to that piece of art. Kaya I like this topic and question kasi it forces me to learn about myself more, ask more questions that will make me learn about myself more. And siguro on a more practical point of view, para hindi ako ma-cancel. Kasi parang kapag nakita, ayun yung mahirap siguro kapag nakita ng mga tao na why are you consuming that art? Tapos inassume agad nila na
True.
kino-consume mo yung si Attack on Titan, tapos assume natin na imperialist nga si Isayama. Oh no, Jomar is reading Attack on Titan. What an imperialist. Burnt brown. So at least I can defend myself by asking this kind of questions. No, I'm not that kind of person. Tapos ito yung list of reasons and points ko kung bakit. That's why I think this is important to talk about.
Yeah. Ako, simple lang naman yung reason ko. Kasi I can't believe or I can't count how many times na may song ako na gusto na made by a problematic artist. Tapos I begin to question myself, okay ba napakinggan ko pa rin tong person na to kahit alam ko na problematic siya? So, ang ending is, hindi ko na siya pinapakinggan kasi kahit sobrang gusto ko yung song. So, kasi yung problem sa akin is hindi ko tiningnan kung ano yung intention ko or kung ano ba magiging effect nun sa akin. Kasi in reality, I'm consuming the art and the art doesn't affect how I behave. Yun pa rin naman yung morals ko eh. So similar with Jomar, yun pa rin naman yung morals ko eh. So does that make me a bad person if I support this artist? And the answer is no. So ayun, so siguro okay tong discussion kasi nabigyan ako ng clarity na there are some types of art na it's okay to consume. Maybe it's okay to consume because it really doesn't affect you a lot. It doesn't support yung cause ng person kung hindi mo naman siya bibigyan ng platform or you're just consuming it for your own personal enjoyment. Ayun nga, parang sa practicality nga, sabi ni Romar na doesn't really make sense for you to stop enjoying some things if if problematic yung gumawa. Although yun nga, meron nga threshold like yung discuss natin kanina, na yung threshold na sabi mo na okay, sobrang sahol nito, hindi ko na talaga kaya, hindi ko masikmura. Doon ka magdo-draw ng line. Pero otherwise, it's difficult for you to stop appreciating art kasi you're gonna stop living kung hindi mo siya in-appreciate.
Sa akin naman, it's a little bit different kasi I don't just consume. I have to make art din for myself, for other people. I'm a content creator. So, ayun, parang what I consume sometimes translates into my own morals and it translates to my own work. So, parang I have to be careful. I have to choose wisely on what to consume. But at the same time, I need to consume a lot of different other things kasi ayoko rin naman ng echo chamber na eto lang yung alam ko. I need to be able to think critically and explain to other people like, why do I support this? Why do I not support this? Why don't I like this other person? Why don't I... Parang ganun. Parang it's a little bit more complicated if you make work din. If you make creative work. Kasi, yeah, pag halimbawa, Potterhead ako, and I still make work na I still support the author. I'm just anong mangyayari sa mga work ko? Like if I make a comic, I'll be biased. I'll be it's not gonna be good. I just have to keep thinking na I don't want to be a person. I don't want people to think na I want to separate this art from their artist. I want to be one with my art, so I need to be good. Like morally, I need to support what I believe in. Parang ganun. Like, I need to be on the right path so people won't want to separate me from my art because I love my art. And yun yung nangyayari. Like, if people are careless, people would want to separate the creator from their work. I don't want that to happen to me. So, I want to keep consuming the right things based on what I believe in. Like, not what other people tell me. Like, people can think critically naman for themselves. So, yeah, that's why I think about
yeah.
the artist.
So parang what you're saying is you want the consumers of your art to include you in the art. Parang to merge the art with the artist. Kaya you yourself as an artist would want to do that with the art that you consume. Tama ba?
It's such a big honor na kasi if people say na I love your art and I want to support you. It's the biggest honor. It's such a nice thing to hear as an artist kasi people love your art and people love you. It's great.
That's something na hindi namin appreciate kasi it's good na we got your perspective kasi as a consumer we only see the art. And of
Very,
course,
okay.
very simplistic lang yung view namin eh. We see the art, we like the artist, we support the artist. Ayun. So hindi namin nakikita yung perspective of the creator of the art themselves, kung ano yung na-appreciate nila with the people who consume your own art. So yeah, it's a good perspective.
May napulot ako sa sinabi ni Kristienne na mas mahirap pala maging content creator kasi sobrang, yun nga, sinabi mo na kailangan selected yung i-consume mo para maging good ka. Compared to sa amin na consume lang na consume tapos filter na lang yung mga ayaw gusto, kung sino yung support or not support. Pero sa kanila talaga kailangan selected kasi yung product nila makaka-affect ng ng consumers, views, opinions, culture even, or generations to come, di ba? So, wala lang, ang hirap.
Yeah, parang you worry, you don't necessarily just worry about the art that you consume, pero the art that you push out din. So yun yung additional complexity sa creators like Kristienne, like parang you feel responsibility, di ba, na the art that you produce is morally good. So okay, yeah, that's good.
Yung sagot ko dun sa tanong, actually yung know yourself agree ako sa inyo, Jomer and Ian. Pero for a little comical relief, maganda siyang topic ng podcast kasi backstory lang nung nag-uusap kami dito, ang tindi ng debate ng dalawa. Sabi, should certain art exist or not? I just gone.
Pero iba yun ibang topic together.
Yeah, ibang topic na yun. For, a little comical.
May gusto ko sabihin, di ba Kristienne is talking about her being a creator. But do you think now we're all creators here? Kasi we're creating this podcast. So basically, we're all artists. Oh.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So I think we have a lot to work on in terms of yung mindset namin kasi we don't necessarily think of those things. So
grabe talaga yung 37 subscribers natin. Sorry guys.
Sorry guys, we failed you.
Ma-influence namin kayo ng
masama. Hoy, ito na.
Oh, wow! Yes!
Okay, so napahaba yung usapan natin, no? Ang ganda kasi. Pero I think we should end the podcast na. Before we end, Kristienne, please plug your art.
So I'm on Facebook, Instagram as Creatorivm, Creatorivm. Tapos on Twitter, wala na si Creatorivm. It's now Amkurii, AMKURII. That's it.
Pero guys, sobrang ganda ng art ni Kristienne.
Yeah.
Just gonna say.
Maraming salamat, Kristienne. Alam kong puyat ka kaninang umaga kasi at the time of this recording, katatapos lang, or ano ba, Lazada sale pa ngayon, di ba? Tapos nag-work on dun sa art ng Coloret. Grabe, check it out, guys. Congrats!
Thank you.
Clap kayo.
Clap. Hindi ako makakapag-clap ng ayos. Tawa ko yung mic.
Before we go, you can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Tapos meron din kaming feedback form pala. We appreciate any feedback or input you can give para ma-improve pa namin yung podcast. So, ayun. Kung nakaabot kayo sa part na to ng podcast, whether sa YouTube man or sa Spotify, maraming salamat. Please leave a like, comment, share nyo kung worth it, tsaka subscribe kung gusto nyo rin. No? So, see you next time sa next episode ng All Is Well, the podcast. Ako si Dodge.
Ian.
Jomar.
Alright, goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.